Oh, whoops. Good call, moderator. I forgot to turn off emotes only chat. There we go. Thank you. That was a preventative measure against retaliation for observing a day off Twitch. Again, I mean, somewhat of my infinitesimal profile. I would probably have been spared that, but, you know, who knows. I did invoke the hashtag. I could potentially have been a target. We'll have to see if anything becomes of all that. Here's Stuka. Here comes the kitty. Hi, Dazer. Cat street. Trying to think of what I'm gonna have to do with the... I think the first thing we have to do in the game is find a way to kill a couple hours. We talked to Joyce. Everard is helping me find my gun. I can't really do anything else about the traffic jam situation. Hello, good. How's the weather over there, by the way? Because Philadelphia is like underwater, so I was wondering how Delaware fared during all that. I've seen pictures of Philadelphia, like, water just below the friggin' overhead road signs on, like, the highway. Like, outrageous. Massive flooding in parts of Pennsylvania. I saw a video of, like, inside a Planet Fitness, like a gym, with, like, all the treadmills and all of the friggin' electronic exercise equipment just under friggin' 5 feet of water. It's like, well, that's expensive. Serious rain but no flooding. Alright, that's good. As I keep thinking about it, man, I've lived in, like, the Susquehanna Valley in the middle of Pennsylvania my entire life. I'm used to being able to, like... This is a bad example, it's gonna sound like terrorism, but, like, dude, if you just, like, fired a gun in any direction, you'd be able to hit, like, as far as I can see. Like, surrounded by hills and forests and everything, like, I've always been boxed in where I live. To even live in, to drive in Ohio, it's where it becomes flatter. Like, if you leave Appalachia, and, like, you can see for any appreciable distance, my brain is like, whoa! It would be surreal to actually live in a place like that. A coastal state, no less. I mean, I love the ocean, but anyway. Yeah, imagine, like, living your entire life in, like, a Mario 64 level, you know what I mean? It's like everything suddenly, you know, is like a big ramp, not quite a wall. Just like an 88-degree slope that you can't really get up. Zeor says we had some serious, all around us got some version of hell. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened right here. Like, I'm fine right here where I am, but apparently you don't have to go too far to find some bad shit. Tornado wrecked a friend's neighborhood in Annapolis, flipped cars, tore houses off the foundations. Yeah, I heard there was a tornado right through Annapolis. Can's actually got the tornado warning. He was close enough to it. But he checked in with us, said he's doing fine, so that's good. He is offline for unrelated reasons. He's Having some room renovations done. I need to start the video again. Dazer. I'm sorry, baby. I just gotta cross my legs different. Yeah, she's not having it. She's like, nope, it's all ruined. Right leg crossed over the other. What is this? Get out of here. You're fired. Go to sleep on the floor. Annie Hoozle, disco time. I think I reasonably remember where I was, but again, I kind of need to find a way to kill a little time. And I already read my all of my case files without realizing how much time that ate up. We are Kimless. Kim is still driving the soupy body to the body pulp plant. And I'm trying to get a couple of things done without Kim's backup. I could talk to the Hardy Boys, or I could punch myself in the head a lot. Let me take a look at this wall. Still a pretty low chance. It may be higher at night. So I'm not going to try that check right now. There is a guy, old Martin Ness up there in the apartment building. I can go talk to him after 9 o'clock. Which means I need to find some way to kill about 2.5 hours. Game time, that is. Well, also real time. I'm almost sure I do have some items that'll give me better conceptualization, yeah. Like this shirt will do it. Even so, I would like something else to like I said, I feel like the check is a little bit likelier at night. Like if you wait late enough, there might be something that improves it. Apparently I already have a +1 conceptualization from my jacket. Or my shirt. No, my jacket. Just for funsies. Let's see what sort of effect this does have. %. That +1 is actually, I mean, that's what, a 9% change in the actual odds. So that's non-trivial. I wonder if I should bother talking to Kuno anymore. I really kind of just don't want to talk to the Hardy Boys. It's honestly just a really unpleasant conversation. Besides which, better to have Kim with me. I mean, there's what? It was either 8 or 12 Hardy Boys. There's a lot of them. There's just one little old, still doesn't really remember anything. Harry Dubois. And his mailbox friend. Mailbox, you are Kim now. Hello, best friend. Yeah, tear back. You don't mind that I carry garbage around, do you, mailbox? Right, Everard also gave me another errand to run, but I literally can't yet. It's on the other side of the river. The canal, whatever it is. Which I will not be able to reach until it is fixed. Which is tomorrow. Game time. So, is the bookstore still open? Can I get a book? Can I afford a book? You messed with the spooky metaphysical curtain that this lady doesn't want us messing with. I tried to volunteer as like a psychic cop to psychic it out. She didn't buy that I was psychic enough. Fine, let's look for a book. Reportedly those are good for killing time. The Muscle Man books do not appeal to me. Plaisance sucks. Nobody likes her. Here we go. Crime fiction is terrible. But nevertheless... You see, Dick Mullen on the job. Get me Mullen. The stalwart adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the murder in the orchard. The sordid affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the murder house. Final case of Dick Mullen. Obvious lie. Dick Mullen in the clock tower. The ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's funeral pyre. The murder of Dick Mullen. Dick Mullen dies? Oh no, turns out he faked it to solve a case. Alright, any more? Yes, there's also the dame who did it. Farewell, my Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen, another one with fake death, and of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. For all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. What do we have here? Mistaken Identity. ... A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence. Why does this speak to me? Could be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? That's probably right. I'm a complicated guy full of contradictions. Then this is the book for you. Damn it, can't afford it. I probably already just dropped off all my tear, too. I don't think I can find any more. Oh, I got it. I can still go hug a couple of postcards, at least. I should be able to raise $8. Robocop skills don't let me down. Let me scoot up a little bit. Like, sometimes I sit too far back. And then, like, holding my hand on the mouse puts strain on my arm. These are Zeor TV insider facts. A peek behind the curtain. What makes your favorite stream tick? Elbow tension, that's what. That's what I'm doing right now, taking a break, talking to strangers, exploring. There's pretty much nothing left for me to explore this time. I've explored everything this side of the waterlock.
Hello again. How can I help you?
Alright. Wow, my electrochemistry score is actually pretty low. Do you know anything about the traffic menace on the loose?
Traffic? I'm sorry, officer, but I don't drive.
But you didn't hear it when the traffic menace drove over your roof?
Now that I think about it, I do remember hearing a thunderous noise the other night. Some kind of powerful electric vortex hitting the shop, and then moving on.
Powerful electric vortex kind of matches the description of what cars sound like in this universe. On our last episode, we learned about the world that we're in and how it is dominated by a nothingness, a like white void called the Pale. We are on one of several known isolas distributed throughout the Pale, and the Pale is apparently growing. Interesting stuff. Anyway, so you have no idea who the driver was. He shakes his head slowly. Do you happen to have any guns, like the ones carried by officers of the Citizens Militia?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Oh. This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh, God. Wait, I sold you my gun?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
That is probably not the RCM's favorite method of disposing of a firearm.
And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
Photon emissions. He's not telling you the whole story. It seems like he's trying to spare you. I feel like there's something you're not telling me.
You weren't quiet yourself, officer.
Ooh, what was I like?
You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight. And that you need the money.
A little too close to home on that one, Mr.
When
Video
I
Game.
said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your
Whoa.
mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it.
Fair. Very normal behavior. Must have been in great shape. How much did I sell the gun for?
15 real.
15 real. It's 20 for a night at the Whirling Regs. Not to be sorry, cop, but I am so sorry you had to see me in that state. We don't have to talk about it any further.
No apologies necessary, officer.
Was the buyer a policeman too?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Maybe she's a vigilante. Wants to prove she can patrol the streets more effectively than the citizens' militia.
Oh, I certainly hope not.
He steps further back behind the bullet-resistant glass, visibly perturbed. He doesn't want to be involved in any incidents. Any idea where I can find this buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
Needle in a haystack. There's nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everard wasn't lying, and that the Union can track her down in time. People from Everard Clare's Union come here to track that gun?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it.
Pretty specific.
They went their way. It was a trip. But you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
Yeah, at least I know how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Do you have any recordings of the Koldoma Madakwa?
The Koldima Madakwa? Sorry, I would never have guessed that you were that interested in ultrasonic sounds. Or birds, for that matter.
I wouldn't have guessed that you knew what the Koldoma Madakwa was.
That's fair. It's been a long time since my Koldima Madakwa hunting days. Once knew a group of young musicians who decided they didn't want to play music anymore and started looking for all kinds of interesting sounds instead.
That sounds so cool.
Cool or not, one of them was obsessed with recording the Koldima Madakwa. And he was one of those passionate people who know a lot about all kinds of strange things. So he got the rest of us to join in his search.
And did you ever find it?
We thought we did. We got together all these recordings of unusual sound patterns, compared them, cut them up and combined them into the Symphonia Koldima Madakwa.
Can I listen to it?
Unfortunately, I don't have any recordings from my old life. None at all. But I do have a tape with some ultrasonic sounds that might be what you're looking for.
Starts rummaging through some old tapes behind the counter. Spin that bird song.
This recording comes from down the coast. Wasn't looking to record anything specific. Just left a recording device there one morning.
We talked to the old lady Lena and the Whirling Rags about all kinds of cryptids last time. Killed a pretty good amount of time doing that, and one of them is this Koldoma Madakwa, which was, like, allegedly like a creature in the form of ultrasonic imperceptible sound or something.
Keep in mind, I have to slow this one down enough to make sounds well over 200 kilohertz audible to the human ear. It will be strange.
As the hum grows louder, modulating, but always unnaturally, uncomfortably low. It's like it's not coming from the speakers, but also from inside your... It's like it is coming, not from the speakers, but also from inside your chest. Oh, okay. That sentence is a little off. Not coming, but also. Breathing is becoming difficult. Not good, not good. You... Okay. There's a growing sense of dread. The sound is coming from inside you, but also surrounding you. Feels as though someone is standing just outside your range of vision and watching you doing this to you. He nods to you reassuringly, just as more diverse, higher-pitched sounds, some random, some appearing to form patterns, hit your eardrums. Seabirds, most likely, gulls and such. What is that?
Gulls and skewers. But... shh.
He raises his pointer finger and inclines his head towards the speakers. A new, very high-pitched, shivering sound emerges amidst the others. The low range of sounds is easier to handle with a focal point, but still troubling. You are mesmerized by the sounds, but also feel nausea welling up as the motif continues, and then begins to recede, dissolving in what must be the sound of water lapping at the back.
You know, now that I've listened to it on these new speakers, it's not the cold Mamadakwa. Wrong patterns, wrong... photons. Probably some insect trying to sing higher than its predators can hear. Still, fascinating, aren't they? Early morning sounds.
I have something to sell.
Sure, let me have a look.
Let me take a look
Anything
here.
else you're thinking of selling?
Yeah, there we go. $4.50 for sound photons. Yes, science. I don't believe these postcards have any other significance. I'm pretty sure they're just money. I'm not gonna sell Kim's pen. He trusted me with it. Practically had to fight him for it. Oh yeah, there's Renee's photo. Yeah, let me sell that for $1.25. Here's a picture of a couple of people. Alright. Nah, $2 is too much. Do you want to buy this picture of the murder victim?
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Nope.
Another time, perhaps.
Okay, bye. Now I can buy a book. I've actually never bought a book in this game before, so I'm a little interested. Gotta read about the adventures of Dick Mullen and the kill of the die. Dick Murder in Killed of a Murder. These are also Steven Seagal movie names. Steven Seagal is Fuck, Kill, Die, Gun Bullet. Anyway, yeah. Apparently somebody calling herself a pig has bought my gun. Now we know. Actually, I just reminded myself. Got myself something to try. I want to buy this Dick Mullen novel. Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. Wow, it's a thick one.
Of course. Such violence and immorality. I mean, enjoy.
You really just can't even say a sentence without being awful, can you? You're just the worst. Find a way to ruin every word that leaves your own mouth. Alright then. I'm gonna mosey on over to the apartment building, get out of the rain before I read my new book. That I bought with monies. I gave the unpleasant woman 7.50 monies. And then gained Dick Mullen and the mystery of the dick. Sorry, I read that wrong. The Mystery of the Dick Mystery. I was actually watching some Vinny's Hades streams pre-recorded. First of all, very glad I waited until early access was over. But it was like early 2020. And so like I actually found the VOD where somebody in chat was just like, "Hey Vinny, you heard about that super virus in China?" It's like, "No, I haven't. I'll have to check that out." Welcome to the rest of 2020, everyone. I do believe I'm going to hop up, get myself a drink. Full disclosure, I already have a drink. But I have a different drink I think I want to try. I'm gonna do that. I'll be right back. I'm back. In the spirit of disco, I've acquired an adult beverage. Which means it's pornographic and I cannot show it on stream. No. Oh, that's very mild. This is only 4.8% actually. I'm gonna get myself one of these, extremely well-known brand named Southern Peach beverages. I feel like they started making these things to try to warn in on the, Mike's Hard Lemonade market a little bit. Nowhere near as sweet as I expected. Actually pretty mild. Not bad. I drink soda a lot, I'll cop to that. But sometimes it's just too syrupy, you know what I mean? So instead of drinking water like a, surviving human, I'm just gonna drink something even worse. I'm actually gonna bother a couple people on Discord. Maybe just the one person. Okay. Dubious beverage acquired. Person pestered. Let's read about book, quote, Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity, unquote. This is kind of adult beverage that's a little bit too easy to drink, you know what I mean? Like it'd be easy to drink too much of. Another Dick Mullen book. Excuse me a second. Okay, now I'm with you. Another Dick Mullen book that woefully misrepresents the nature of police work. In this one, our detective returns from a trip having successfully solved one case only to embark on another. Does he finally face the taxing nature of his occupation? No, he doesn't even look like a normal officer of the law. In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity, Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I just figured you usually, like the Disco streams, wanted to... sometimes, like, the notifications don't reach. I just wanted to make sure. In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch. The color features a pastiche of different scenes. In the foreground, a man with a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. I think that's me. Rising up behind him are two silhouettes wrapped in a passionate embrace. Yeah, I picked a hell of a spot to read this, didn't I? I was just looking for somewhere with good lighting. The tagline reads, Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen. That seems to sum up the premise nicely. Needless to say, it violates nearly every RCM regulation for a detective to investigate a murder in which he is a suspect. The story opens with a knock at the door. Detective Dick Mullen is greeted by an old friend, Charlie Spillane, who has come to Mullen to ask a favor on this dark and cold night. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vesper to a small town along the Insul Indian coast. Despite his friend's apparent agitation, Mullen does as he asks and then returns home where he passes out drunk, as he does most nights. An extremely unprofessional and hurtful stereotype that's offensive to all upstanding officers of the law. Gee, I wonder why they called me Dick Mullen back at the precinct. And I'll try to actually watch the in-game clock as I'm reading this. I can't judge. 2 days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vesper police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullen learns that Charlie Spillane was shot in a bar in the very town Mullen dropped him off in by a man matching Mullen's description. Desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince Vesper police to release him for 3 days, so that Mullen may prove his friend's murder and prove his innocence. This sounds, dude, this sounds exactly like an Ace Attorney case, actually. No way Mullen did it. Of course Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullen returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered. He meets a beautiful, mysterious woman named Diana Deneuve. Nice, a dame. Not just any dame. She's truly one in a million, a knockout whose mind is as dangerous as her curves. But she's got a secret. I mean, the 3-day window even makes it like an Ace Attorney case. Like every Ace Attorney case takes place over 3 days. Except for the first one in every game, which takes place in 1 core session. Sounds like my kind of woman. She's any man's kind of woman, according to this book. Are you sure about that? Something about it gives you a bad feeling. What kind of secret is she hiding? You couldn't handle a woman like that. Look at yourself. You couldn't even handle your... Don't say it. Wow. Nice one, composure. Don't say what? Nothing. Forget it. Get back to your story. Anyway, now it's getting interesting. As I read this, my self-deprecation thought is fully internalized. Good. Deneuve realizes that she has some that reveals... Oi, good reading. Deneuve reveals that she was Spillane's lover, and that he was mixed up with a local amphetamine smuggling operation. As soon as Mullen begins pulling at strings, the whole conspiracy begins to unravel. Not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician, and a strung-out art collector named Torvald, each of whom has his own reasons for wanting Spillane dead. Tell me about the corrupt police captain. Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law-and-order crypto-fascist, a barrel-chested man who's beaten his share of suspects to a pulp. But he's also dirty and increasingly paranoid that someone's going to expose his role in the drug ring. He would certainly have the motive and the means, but the captain walks with a noticeable limp from an old war injury. Man, this is so Ace Attorney. Is it possible he was able to conceal it long enough to commit the murder? Tell me about the politician's son. A typical privileged twat. In all likelihood, he's just in over his head. He does bear a personal grudge against Spillane, though, a former prosecutor who nearly brought down his father's administration. The kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullen's manly build, but he is the correct height. And while interrogating him at home, Mullen did notice a certain overcoat that looks suspiciously like his own. Was that about an art collector? Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to imagine him holding a pistol steady enough to actually hit someone, let alone plug them 3 times in the chest the way old Spillane got did. That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history, and while interrogating him, Mullen discovered that Torvald was once involved with Diana Deneuve. Could it be that this is all over a sordid love triangle? The story's getting interesting. One evening, Diana Deneuve comes to Mullen's hostel room in tears. The two of them drink half a bottle of vodka, and soon they're seeking comfort in each other's arms. Don't do it, Mullen. This dame's bad news. Well, that testimony won't be admissible any longer. I'm not sure if I'm happy with this. Maybe the story will turn it around. As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Diana Deneuve turns to Mullen and says, "By the way, Dick, there was something else I meant to tell you." I love you? Whatever it is, Mullen never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold instantly. Fuck! When Mullen comes to, Deneuve is dead on the hostel. Oh no! To make matters worse, his clothes are covered with her blood. Double fuck! Mullen trashes his blood-stained clothes and flees the hostel, knowing it's only a matter of time before the cops discover Deneuve's body, if they haven't been tipped off already. Fleeing a crime scene, destroying evidence, even if Detective Mullen didn't commit the murder, he should be facing years behind bars. The heat is on. If Dick Mullen can't solve both murders before the cops catch up to him, he's going away for life. Can you solve the case before the cops close in? Wait, I've got some questions first. What is it, Detective? I'm gonna end up wasting a little bit extra time. It's fine. Never mind. So who did it, Detective? Who killed Charlotte Blaine and Diana Deneuve? I think it was the politician's twat son. Could be, who knows? Only one way to find out. You begin furiously flipping through pages. Even as you know these books follow a series of well-worn tropes, you find yourself completely engrossed. You're turning pages so fast you didn't even notice the ancient spine coming unglued. Oh no! You try to grab the pages as they come loose, but your fingers aren't quick enough. They're gone. Dozens of pages scatter across the floor. The last fifth or so of the book seems to have been lost. It's possible that you could gather and reassemble the pages, but it would take way too long. Yeah, I'll never know. That's right, you never will. But isn't that how it is in real life, Detective? In your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity. Fuck. Damn. Stupid book.
Rigorous self-critique. Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room and were caught. You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds, Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And, above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends, you drowned in a neurotoxin. You let misery win, and it will keep on winning till you die, or overcome it.
Yikes. The good news is, that's a really good thought. Healing morale or health for failing red checks? I mean, that's neat. Whew, I didn't hear that one before, man. We were already getting the full disco experience today, man. We've already had some yucks and some heavy shit. If you tuned in late, we did find out where the gun went. Harry pawned the gun, and it was apparently bought sometime after the fact by somebody who called herself a, quote, pig, unquote. There he is.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette. His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. Nice one, conceptualization. Feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight. Got your hint, found the key right under that stone.
Beautiful.
As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes.
beautiful.
A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
Why would I want to meet your friend?
Trust me. You do.
Is it Friday tonight? Feels like a Friday.
Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather. Even the rain feels nice.
By the way, I'm really digging the view here.
Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again. Run where?
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
Alright, go then.
Take care, alright?
Good interview. We did it. Level up! And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him. So how about that there conceptualization skill? Do I need any other, Pardon, I don't think I care that much about, indirect modes of taxation. It is really important to me that I pass that conceptualization check at some point. I gotta. Simply because, you'll see, it was very impactful on me. It's very simple, and yet it really just kind of stuck out in my mind. So yeah, we'll go ahead and level up conceptualization. What was it that I needed to talk to the container again? Was it rhetoric? Cargo container crew, yeah, rhetoric, impossible. May also need a drama point. That stupid book. So I guess we'll go talk to whoever this guy's Sunday friend is. A quarterly business magazine. Samaran Conical hat. A tawny cone-shaped hat that looks like a beacon of Samaran wisdom. Its straws sticking up like antennas. Thank God you can't really see people's reactions when they see you strolling around in this incredibly insensitive headpiece. I'd say Alara makes it work. That's a joke for nobody. I do that a lot. I should probably not do that so much. Alright, stranger. I'm just gonna mull around in the apartment. Look at everything. Take whatever's not nailed down. Like this party dragon silk robe. Become the dragon. And become an addict in a strange bathing robe. The sleazy, silky bathing robe in vibrant blues features a roaring dragon on its front, ready to take off into the night. A red belt has been provided for fastening. It's culturally insensitive, but only for people who are not from Seoul. The real Seoulites probably don't care. I don't think I'm gonna wear this stuff too much.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Man in business casual removes his cufflinks. His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government.
Oh.
I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Now, first, ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot. Before we get to that, tell me where you got this beautiful silk robe from.
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business. That's really all I can tell you about it.
What's an official like you doing in Martinez?
The Coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the Coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
Enough business. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you wish, officer.
This sounds like capitalist stuff. Can you tell me about your friend?
My friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
Still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry, who?
Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine, but what's his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
So, all you can tell me about him is that he is here to study the arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
As though you weren't envious enough of the boy as is. Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
I had something else in mind.
I'm all ears, officer.
So you actually witnessed the lynching?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
Start from the beginning, if you don't mind.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
Meaning it was terrifying?
No. I mean, it was so strange. I could barely believe what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Who were they? Can you describe them?
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
How many of them were there?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
Sound familiar? That matches the prints you observed at the scene. Did any of them look like drummers? Were any of them huge, like 200 kilograms huge?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell.
Did any of them look like drummers?
Drummers? Why, no. But then, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like.
So what happened next?
I went back inside.
So, wait, you didn't actually see the lynching happen?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
So hold on. Threatening to kill... And yet... Well, first of all, his description of who was there matches what we know. We counted 8 distinct sets of prints at the scene. And Everard has pretty much already confirmed for us that seemingly this was perpetrated by the Hardy Boys. And yet here this is still the problem of, like, this guy was a armed and armored professional security grunt. Like, you can't really just kind of lead him to a tree and then hang him. Something had to have happened first. And yet, they were threatening to kill that man? Were they men, women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
Alright, what happened next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Why didn't you call the RCM?
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
Can you at least tell me when it happened?
All I can say is that it was late.
You didn't check your watch?
My watch? Yes, now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take.
So, let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
Those are all my questions. Thanks for your time.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
I've got all I need.
A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Thanks for the heads up, but my work here is done.
Of course. I'm glad I could help.
I think anything you may have chosen to infer about this guy and the other guy we were just talking to is probably accurate. But it's not really any of my business. Well, there we go. That's the last item of business I could accomplish on this day, I'm pretty sure. Unless... Am I already wearing my conceptualization shirt? Good. Won't hurt us to try. And if I fail to check, no big deal. I'll try it again later. There might even be another thing that opens it later and, like, adds a large success modifier to it. Love the music in here. Most of the music in this game is really good. Can't make up his mind if it wants to rain or snow around here. Yeah, I thought so. It's better at night. Damn. Next time. I'll be unsure if I will want to add a point to conceptualization later to try that again, or if I should just wait and see if some event lets me retry it. Anyway, we can go to bed. Then we can start the next day where Kim is here and everything is much better. What is this? Do need a nose fed. Anyway, our room's already paid off. You can just go upstairs and die. And Kim will show up here tomorrow just spraying barf everywhere the whole time. I don't know what they just started playing downstairs. You hear that bass beat? Yeah, there it is. Never picked up on that before. Hey, I can interact with this now. Something went up. There used to be a tape in this case, but it was destroyed at a fit of rage. Something about the Etenier's single smallest church in Seine it must have rubbed somebody the wrong way. Label says it was recorded in 43. That is not helpful to us. Probably. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep. Here we go again, my broken bird. The waves are coming, carrying you away, but you can't go. No, you have to stay, always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. Why? It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you have a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety, but you cannot because of the pain. That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you? I'm sorry, son. I like this one. Body's worthless anyway. No one does anything nice to it. And why might that be the case? What love alights on such a bloated corpse to be? I am an artist. The liver damage is my art. No. These are my just desserts. I will endure this pain with dignity. There's no dignity here. Only reflections of your body mass, flashes of the day. You keep coming back to yourself in the mirror, but why? To admire your accomplishments? You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people, really looking, but why would you want to start doing that? Just get me out of here then, back to the other place. Oh, baby boy, you're already in the other place. There's no nourishment for you tonight. Maybe tomorrow? Maybe if you took a lot of drugs before you go to sleep, that'd do the trick. Maybe if you crack the damn thing and you feel satisfied and tired, holding the picture puzzle in your hands complete. Maybe if you weren't so hard on yourself. What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you. Let it. Let it. But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off you best you can. Gather your bearings, rock and roll. I hate mornings so much. Why did I hear like a wave on the shore sound? Is this... It's tear. My room is full of tear. I didn't even think of it. Good job, past me. Drunk asshole. I can't pick up the big wine bottle, though. Yeah, I recovered everything. That was separate from the wave crashing on shore sound, though. If I had to guess, Lieutenant Kitsuragi is just waiting around downstairs for me. Wakes up at 3 a.m. sharp every day. just eats a fistful of raw coffee beans. There he is. Good morning.
Yes?
Alright, good talk, Kim. What am I holding again? What does this do? Inland Empire. Penalty to authority. Oomst.
You look like shit. And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
No, it's intentional.
Like undercover?
Well, as far as disguises go, this is one of the best I've seen. I mean, I could swear you're an actual bum.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week. What you want?
There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar but different face. You know what this is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him. Tell me the truth. Do you know me from somewhere?
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
Another life. From where? From another life?
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the... To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality?
69, dudes. He seems to be observing you through the reflective glass of his eyewear. There is no reply. Perhaps repeat it? 69, dude. Repeating it gets no reaction from the man with sunglasses. Suddenly the world is very quiet. Even the howling wind outside seems a bit embarrassed. 41st?
Okay. That's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere.
Gives you a long, meaningful look and adds,
Somewhere good.
Kim, who is this guy?
I'm not getting involved in this.
Not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man with the sunglasses. And the woman beside him. Ooh, boy, they're mad at him. No wonder he just doesn't recognize them. Let's talk more about that hypothetical Station 41 you mentioned. Something happened with that voice line. Oh, the hypothetical 41. Yes, let's fantasize about that. He blinks aggressively. I'm not busy, you're busy. Let's just play around. I'm not busy, you're not busy. Let's just play around. What would our relationship be in this alternate universe?
Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment?
Like partners in crime, or?
No, because in this thought experiment, we are police officers in a police station. We don't do crimes. We're not crime bros.
Come on, stop it.
We should be crime bros. Do you have a crime to solve? And there's that again. That's a weird bug. Oh, no. You see, I enjoy watching older, better cops solve crimes, and let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work.
This isn't helping.
Let's be crazy.
Kim's cooler than you.
I'm sure he's fucking flattered. But Kim is not part of this thought experiment. In this one, we're partners.
The lieutenant is silent. you know Kim agrees. He's like, yes, I'm cooler than this guy. You seem like a cool guy. I'd love to have you as my partner.
Would you now? Or would I be cramping your style? Never mind, partner.
Actually, I shouldn't have called you my partner. Kim's my partner. He's gonna know.
I'm not your partner. This union is temporary.
A little premonition for you, Lieutenant. Sooner or later,
Lieutenant?
probably sooner, your new friend tells you he doesn't need you. He will then suggest you should fuck off. When that happens, I suggest you take his advice.
Lieutenant merely bows his head in response. Who else is in our imaginary police station?
You're not going to believe this, but police officers.
What?
Yes, sir. Solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lung.
Who was the far-out son of Lung? Oh, it's you, you eccentric genius, he winks at you sarcastically. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you. Want to tell me more about him or her?
Not even a little bit.
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You are not the son of Lang.
He's trying to protect you from further rough handling dished out by this sunglassed man. Okay, yes, you get the joke. Leave it at that. I can't imagine it anymore.
Neither can I, partner. Neither can I.
It's a mere second, but it feels like you saw something. A gram of compassion in that sadness. Got some questions for you. I'm a cop.
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like?
Like a prophet?
Not the prophet shit again.
Alright, I'll see you around.
Watch out for yourself, loser.
Not very nice. What the... Tremble. The time is now! It's nondescript lettering of some sort. Now I'm actually interested in what the narration does about that. What time? Time for the show. The hallowed time of fear and disintegration. A countdown has begun. All will collapse on itself. The world will disappear into a single grain of blackness. All sound will be muted. All life will scream. What is this? Good answer. Wait, when did this countdown begin? Monday morning, the moment you arrived in this reality. You are the first crack in the sheer face of God. From you, it will spread. Wow! This is because of the insane world-ending shit I've been saying, isn't it? Yes, you spoke the words of the something and the houses of Pericarnassus. Items, people, even words will tumble. All will lose its meaning in the coming years. That is why you marked yourself. I do think the world might end soon. The face of the woman fractures. There will be herd killing. We all will become vapor. Whoa. Okay, the man with the sunglasses in his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right? Yeah, it was kind of weird, yes. There's something we're missing here, something you can't quite put your finger on. You know what, just ask him. I know it sounds crazy and he'll probably get laughed at, but still. I should just ask him if we're from the same station. Yeah, just cross it off the list. It's probably not true, though.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
He shakes his head, looking like he really is having trouble believing this shit. Look, I just have to ask, are we from the same police station?
I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say?
Okay.
Okay?
Jean, he said okay. Give it a rest.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind, not a cop. Go on with your cop work. Don't let me stop you again. Later, nerd. A woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
A patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant. Is everything alright? Why don't you want to talk to me?
I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you?
It's cool to see another cop. I thought Kim and I were the only ones.
No, you're not. You're not the only cop in the world.
Something changes in her. It's pity. Pity comes over her.
Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
So what precinct are you from?
What precinct?
Am I from? God, he doesn't know.
Fucking deranged lunatic.
You're getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this conversation. Maybe you're doing something wrong? Look, something is really bugging me. Are we or are we not from the same police station?
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
Can I actually help you with something?
Yes, of course, preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were, right? Who forgets their squad mates? That's not possible. You are the police, right? Cool. So am I.
I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Judith.
Wait, is he police?
Me? No. I'm just a man with sunglasses. I like wearing sunglasses inside. Sunglasses and a fucking wig.
Okay. What are you, the police, doing here?
I'm just looking out for...
You?
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are...
A policewoman.
Yes, a policewoman who just wants to do her job. That's all.
Something about the man with sunglasses and you, the energy between you two is making her uncomfortable. Are you with him?
Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
Seems like a cool guy.
Well, he's not. He's a sack of shit barely kept together by crazy glue. But at least he tries. Unlike you.
Please, let's not turn this into another exchange, okay?
Okay, goodbye. What a weird couple of people who definitely don't matter in any way at all. Wait a minute, is that the guy? Also, hi, Lena.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Okay, bye.
Call the Mama Dakwa.
There it is.
It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper, light and low. A god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room. A candy wrapper falling on dry grass. A drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the Call du Mama Dakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out. Keep listening.
See, that was a good example of how I feel like, I mean, I don't want to say the narrator did a bad job or anything, but he's just so very dry. Like, I really feel like much of this dialogue deserves a, you know, a more lively, bouncier reading than he gives it most of the time. Anyway, yeah, pretty interesting thought. +3 perception is a pretty good bonus. And then, like, makes you slightly worse at, like, real world knowledge. This is amusing. I kind of do want to internalize Apocalypse Cop, I won't lie. You woke up in a hotel room and started rambling about the end of the world. It's not your normal everyday doom crying either. Something truly colossal is approaching. The gloaming, the culling, the bloodletting of unimaginable proportions. Until now, you've been pleasantly vague about the precise nature of this cataclysm. No more! Put the bloodletting on the burner and really figure out what's threatening the fragile physical reality you just found yourself in. The Bloodfaust. How dare you even think about eating during the Bloodfaust? My hands. My God. It has begun sooner than expected. The end. I'm not sure what I think about tomatoes sliced so thinly you can see through them. Like, ostensibly not the way you want to enjoy a tomato, and yet I could see it maybe having applications in a good sandwich. I need to visit the little boy's room. I'll be right back. Thanks for watching. TechPaint says from the perspective of a professional delier, it's probably not really possible to make any use of a tomato slice in such a way. It lacks structural tomato integrity. Is there anything I can do before I talk to the Hardy Boys? Like, it really is. It's not fun to talk to them. Here again, I almost forgot that, like, Titus Hardy's isn't going to be fully voice acted now. I should actually check my map. My, agenda, see what else I need to take care of. Oh yeah, still more stuff about the drugs going through the terminal here. Oh yeah, we can also probably get to the other side of the river lock here. I think I'm gonna walk over and check that out. The traffic hooligan. Somebody who tampered with the crime scene. The mysterious whirling in rags door. The boule. Victim's tattoos. I think Joyce let on that she may know something about those tattoos, but could not speak on them. Badge. Reality lowdown. Apparently did not complete this, even though I asked all about the pail and everything. Apocalypse Cop is, I only have half the Apocalypse Cop score of the Sorry Cop score that I have. And again, I'm not even trying to be Sorry Cop, I mean, what else do you say? If everybody walks up to you just like, "Hi officer, last time I saw you, you shat on my cat." Like, my cat was just hanging out, and you just took a big dump right on my cat. What do you say? It's like, yep, that's how a rock star do. No, you say, "I'm sorry I shat on your cat. Your cat didn't deserve to be shat on. I'm a bad cop."
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Did you find anything more about the owner of the armored boots?
Sorry, sir. I still haven't heard back from the database people. Try calling again later. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Something later in the day, I guess.
7, over and out.
Anyway, I'm down to 1.25 monies. I will need to gain 18.75 monies in order to be able to stay at the Whirling Rags again. Sewer grate, a gateway to the river of filth. Alright. Yeah, here we go. I don't think I'm... No, you know what? I want to walk over here a little bit. We can at least make some let's start the day by making some headway in the case of the lunatic asshole driver. See if we can get anywhere with that. Then we'll bite into some of the harder stuff. A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. Grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk, and then... Neat.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Ooh. Focus on one thing, achieve it, and then the next, he thinks. That's the task chain. Alright, fine, we'll explore the coast later. Stupid Kim and his stupid, actually good police work. Tell me this, Kim. When was the last time you sold your gun to some lunatic woman you've never met? Then spent 3 hours talking to an old lady about cryptids. And then you were trying to read a book and then the book died. Huh? Who's the real super cop? That's right. Robocop. All these guys still here. Even this guy. Like, you've been here for 3 days, just like waving your fist. Your arm's gotta get tired.
Looking for something?
I know you've been giving me the runaround fist, so where's the lady driver?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The rest of you knew Sinlang didn't do it.
He did something. He stole
Why are you
his
smirking?
good. Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Evashel West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
So who does? The lady driver?
No. He means La Puta Madre.
Kim immediately supplies the missing piece of this puzzle. The name resounds like a bell in the air, a dark gong. You get a bad feeling about it. It looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this.
Yeah, him.
Cross around his nod.
And I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts.
I am kind of a...
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peony's job to find out who that is. It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorryman and Carter's Guild.
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild protect him?
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
He tries to light a fresh cigarette, but his hands are shaking now. The sentence simply ends. Yeah, how'd that work out for you, buddy, over there? The guy who hung dead in the tree for a week. The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod. I've softened him up best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job. Half-flight, though, is not my best. What have I got? I've got to have something that's good for half-flight. Tank top? No, that's physical instrument. I have a... Yeah, fawn gloves. I'm gonna put on my angry gloves. What am I wearing for Jack? Conceptualization. I'm gonna wear my good one. Why not? Time to be bad cop. Kim was already just bad cop. I also am bad cop.
Looking for something?
Fuck. The main thing is to not overdo it. Even when we're trying to scare someone, the most important thing is how does it look on your resume? Jig's up. I've got the goods on you.
Oh yeah? And what goods are those?
You know, your goods.
There's some kind of homo thing?
Just tell me what you know.
Make me runt.
Let's just go and ask Tommy, alright? We are wasting our time here.
Tommy. Fuck, I really didn't want to fail that check. Whatever. Prick. I hate that guy so much. You need to immediately quick save the failure. Because I am nothing if not an asshole of integrity.
Poet.
God damn it. No, you know what? I'm just gonna level up my half-light and try that again. I'm not doing this to Tommy. There's gotta be something else we can do. Yeah, sorry, Kim. We're going to the other side of the river. I can't do this to Tommy. Tommy's a bro. I do not have any half-light penalties equipped. Yeah, I checked that. I was actually gonna start like a more physical build run at this before I decided to start over and stream it. Again, it's interesting that the physique suite of skills includes shivers, which is very much like a metaphysical thing. I look a lot more serious with this cloak on, but at least I still have my froggy visor. Can't see the eyeballs on it, though. Ooh. Inauthentic froggy visor. Oop, tear. Maybe. Maybe not tear. Someone has broken down the fence and the barbed wire. Aw, I just passed by some monies. Breaker box to power the radio pylon above you. Maybe there's something inside? Monies. Hold on, Kim. Monies. I need to find all of the monies I can get to afford bad bedroom. Whoop. Wait, that inverted star. We've seen that before. I'm still carrying the speed around. Nice. Jamrock Biker Cop Sunnies. Awesome. I have all the I forgot to, as a matter of fact, I forgot to put my the auditor glasses back on. Yes. There's something else that has authority. Empathy, don't I? Maybe not. I think I just have a lot of empathy in the first place. Alright. Keep getting sidetracked from my sidetracking. Surely to Kim's great chagrin. You know what, Kim? I'm taking the lead on this case, man. This is important. I know what I'm doing. You can trust of me. And at me. We found it. Found this lunatic asshole's motor carriage. Wonder what sort of complete tosspot could possibly have done this. Some irredeemable, just unlovable, hideous, heinous, herniated ass. Oh, that's important. I think that opened up a check that I will try on a later occasion. Footprints in the snow, they lead away from the accident. The walker was either very confused or drunk out of his mind. A banged-up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the inland Indian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. Must be cold and lonely down there on the icy water. Remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading. So this is where all the tracks were leading to.
It appears to be so.
The lieutenant has a peculiar look in his eyes as he inspects the wreckage. Let's investigate.
I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. What is the make of this motor carriage? Can I see a logo? The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by. How long has it been here?
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on Sunday evening. Well, well, well. Looks like Jacob Ear's journey came to an abrupt end here. Your mocking tone finds no response but the motion of the waves. Did you say something, Lieutenant?
I did not. But I'd say it has been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
What should we do?
Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
How long will it take for the low tide to come in?
I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
Let's take a break. We're 19 minutes into the day. You should take it easy. Hold on, there's a bug in my face again. And there it goes, never to be seen again. You only get one chance. As you sit down in the old rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of the seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea. Spit flies from your mouth to your mustache, your chest, the ground before your nose sound, though. Bad at whistling. Brandon heavily here, Chief. Mind keeping it down a bit? Shut up, necktie. The lieutenant must think it's rather funny. He smiles and quickly turns away.
Just keep at it. It will come to you.
With his lips puckered, the lieutenant lets out a beautiful melodic shrill that puts even the Indian thrush to shame. You hear the sound echo on the large body of water. Clouds race along the spring sky, and suddenly you just feel better about everything. Okay, that's way better than what you did. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion. Would you rather sit on an anthill for an hour or stand on a river of leeches?
Well, historically, leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments.
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass. You have to side with either the strikers or the shipping company. Who do you choose?
Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organization, and therefore do not have to choose between a rock and a hard place.
But someone put a gun to your head. Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass. Is that a number on the side?
Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
Shut up, Ken. This must be Tommy 41, the morning host of FM 41.
Right. Or 41 is the number of a police precinct? Your precinct.
No. A massive pit opens up in your stomach and the most terrible feeling comes over you. Nope. Just say nope. Say no to this, Harry. Oh, no.
Yes, your car is in the sea. Face it, so we can start dealing with this.
No, it's the street racer.
There were never any street racers. It was always you. You drove your car in the sea.
But Jacob... The lieutenant just shakes his head. Oh my god, it's mine. I drove my car in the sea?
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you started in front of the whirling, jumped over the canal, and then drove your vehicle in the sea right here.
Maybe I was in pursuit of someone?
Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk.
The badge, the gun, and now this. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything. There is also a fourth thing you've lost. A fourth thing? More precious than the gun, the badge, and the motor carriage combined. Lost forever into the deepest of seas. Shut up, Inland Empire. They're not gonna take me back after this, are they?
People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly.
Alright, good. It would be economically insensitive to replace me. Got it. How do we get it out?
Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point.
Well, at least I can see what's in there now.
Yes. Let's go take a look.
You found the drunk asshole who drove this motor carriage into the ocean. And some spare fuel. The government-issued red-dyed fuel oil inside looks like paint, though it smells much, much worse. There's not even any tear here I can pick up. Some money, though. And this is it. Scene of the party. Fire pit, cigarettes, and empty bottles all evidence it. I mean, the scene of the crime? Not as such. I'm talking about what came after the party scene. Sure does look like a lot of folks partied here. Looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles. The sunken motor carriage provided them a focal point. Like a goose ice sculpture or a chocolate fountain. Hey, Kim. Looks like we had a couple of partygoers here.
Looks like it.
This was some kind of theater to them. Circus production by a great clown.
Hey, let's keep moving, detective.
Somehow he doesn't want to dwell on it. Ah, we found it! You know what? I don't even need to worry about the drug thing anymore. I got my badge. And the commander's jacket. Why'd I have a commander's jacket? Black uniform jacket with RCM signature, white rectangle on its right sleeve and backside. Letters inside the collar read LTN2JFR. The jacket is of exceptional quality other than some minor wear and tear. It's a good picture. Thick blue piece of acrylic covering a thin leaf of paper with the officer's name and rank on it. Next to the writing, you see a man stare back at you. A younger version of you, already disintegrating inside, but still presentable on the outside. A police badge, and what you see, the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back. I found a badge!
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with some lines of information, and a watermark in the shape of the street created Ravishall West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and in the lower right corner, your precinct. The man keeps winking at you with his green-gray eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. Good choice. A newer photo would look different. How old? 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture's rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns. And he's winking? Why? Why do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, though it looks less grotesque on him than it did on you. Looks like you had quite the charming face way back when. Your hair is brown and slightly curly. Your eyes seem more clear somehow. The lack of alcohol swelling is a bonus, though there is a pinch of that in your cheeks already. Don't be fooled. The bad times have already begun. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark. Name.
Harrier. That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
What kind of name is Harrier?
It's a wartime name. Revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times. Like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
A name like armor. Harrier Dubois it is, then.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
I was actually unsure if that was going to be pronounced Harrier, so I'm glad Kim said it first. He's not going to call you Harrier. He will keep calling you Officer when he's angry with you and Detective when he's not. Rank LTN-2 JFR.
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
What is a Lieutenant W. Freighter?
The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant.
And W. Freighter?
The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're W. Freighter.
So, I already mentioned previously that it was a little bit of a plot twist when we looked through the case files and found out that Harrier's record is a bit checkered, but overall he's gotten a lot accomplished and has done some pretty good police work. Here we find the badge and we discover that we actually outrank Kim. Only a little bit.
There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank. In your case, lieutenant.
Heavy-duty case-solving machine. What's a décomptage?
Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol Citizens Militia. It means counting down to twos. The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings.
What kinks?
Kings like satellite officers and the additionally a freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, you're his superior. Shut up, authority. Wait, satellite officers?
You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite.
Thanks for explaining all this.
My pleasure.
I thought my rank was drunk.
Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past, and this leads me to believe maybe your current situation is only temporary.
Thanks.
Good.
Serial, etc.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
Just some numbers. Date of issue 7th of November, 50.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
To get promoted in the last 4 months is better than I expected. I've noticed occasional lighting eccentricities going on in this version. You might have seen that. I didn't notice it, but I don't doubt that you did. A lot can happen in 4 months, especially in winter. That is true. The winters are never easy on you, of that you were sure. I remember that time. The tie around your neck feels tight suddenly. That was a good time. We had a good work-drink balance going. What happened, man? Pump it up. Precinct 41.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41. Like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor. A lot of asphalt. The 41st is...
What?
It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is.
It's no wonder you are like you are, he thinks, but then again...
But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva.
The badge in your hand... Yeah, we saw that. You forgot about Jules Pidou. He's the best. We should go talk to Joyce. I was hoping to get more done about that drug trade thing, but... Unless I put another point into... freaking... Half-Light. Which I feel has limited uses overall. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but... Let's just prowl around here a little bit, see if I can spot any more tears or... Yeah, tears. Any more tear or... containers to break into and steal sunglasses out of. Oh, I don't think we can get over there. I think this is it. This is the edge, actually. Yeah. Here's the drawbridge. Like, you can definitely go further with that drug investigation thing, but I don't think I really want to at this time. Here again, if you want to know more about that, you can still play Disco Elysium. There's always still stuff to find in this game. I've been over before, like, the one problem with any whodunit plot is that eventually you know whodunit, and it feels like all the surprises are gone. There's always more in this game. I mean, even in this game, I've gotten, like, way, way deeper down the Kuno rabbit hole than I knew was possible. Finding all these monies. Glory, says the graffito, to the ghosts of us. I'm such a nerd for, like, nihilistic art, apparently. Yeah, I mean, there's even more to the Kuno, probably. Should I wear my... No. No. I think Kim's legally allowed to shoot you if you do that. Oh yeah, tear. Hoboken. Someone's left their music collection beneath the tarpaulin. A choir. There it is, the smallest church in... B-side is supposed to contain the instrumental version, requires a boombox. That's right, I was sizing up that boombox, but I didn't buy it. I think I was broke. Memo to self, buy boombox. Listen to sad song. Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere. Yet someone used to live here, laugh here. Thought it was a good idea to build a swing, even. What happened here?
In this yard?
The lieutenant looks at the small building. A flock of gray swallows takes off in the distance. He's assessing the situation, how long ago it was abandoned.
Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur, for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago.
So this part of the coast is a bloc obscur?
Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drums. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house.
At least they left some old music behind.
Yes, and you picked it up because you're a post-apocalyptic scavenger who collects trash and magnesium blisters.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think we will solve the murder with forays into the urban hinterland, at least in this phase of the investigation.
Yeah, Kim said that completely without malice. He's just like, yeah, here you are. The guy who just picks up stuff. I think, like, the cloak is one thing, but also not wearing the big yellow rubber gloves is a big penalty to the hobo cop look. Like, Ollie was right. I think I hit peak hobo cop when I was wearing the yellow gloves and the yellow hat. At least I got my froggy visor. As long as I got the froggy visor, nobody can hurt me. I guess I'll, like, wait until afternoon to try that call again. There is something down there. I think that's foreshadowing something I will discover later. I don't know why that boat horn toot, just low and impertinent to anything, reminded me of SimCity on the Super NES. Once in a while you'd hear a little drone like that. I think it was from a plane rather than a boat, I'm not sure. That's why I giggled. SimCity on the Super NES had a wonderful title screen. I remember the time Eco said something about how he really liked,
You're back. Good.
like pixel cityscapes like that, and I was like, have you seen this, the title of SimCity? He was like, oh man. I found my badge, by the way.
I love you did.
Fast, certainly like an electronic printer.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification. The situation is precarious. What can I help you with, Lieutenant Freighter?
Seaweed drips from the badge in your hand. It smells of fish.
How about you share your information on the lynching, now that you've seen his badge?
The goalposts have moved, Lieutenant. In the absence of the badge, I have informed my employer there will be a probe. I cannot rescind that promise. To my knowledge, the drivers are still at the roundabout. I will tell you everything I know when you've finished with them.
Fair, I guess. The probe will be done soon.
I am glad to hear that. Because let me tell you, we are in dire quarters. The sooner the probe is finished, the sooner I can share crucial information with you. Now, is there anything I can do for you in the meanwhile? Tea, perhaps? Word has...
It appears we are being monitored every step we take, colleague. Did we have any other business here?
Fucking hell. I might not have any other choice. You know what? No. I can still talk to the Hardy Boys. But there we go. We're forming like a list of priorities here. Like, do not want to talk to Hardy Boys, but also really, really do not want to hurt Tommy Lehami. I would sooner talk with Titus Hardy than break that man's heart. Gonna talk to him with my big yellow plastic tear bag in my hand. Actually, I feel like when I'm speaking with those guys, I should do whatever I can to get rid of penalties to authority. I may want good authority for this conversation. It will definitely be challenged. Manual save. Oh. My back hurts. I realized the other day I forgot to show off the secret room in Arkham Asylum. I may or may not have to have already gotten all the other secrets. So I'll work on that offline, and maybe before I stream Arkham City, I'll show that off. Like when I get to the Arkham City stream, I'll start with that. Yeah, here's this guy. I walked right by. I forgot all about him.
Hi, gendarme. Another rendezvous.
And there he is again, the smoker on the balcony, right here in the whirling in rags. Hello.
Hello, hello. So what brings you here?
So what are you doing here?
Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer?
This is where I'm going to go down in history. I'm going to sing karaoke.
Really? Well, I look forward to that.
He raises a glass to you. Tell me again about that muscular type who came to investigate the crime.
Oh yes, let's see. He knocked on my door a few days after the lynching. I think he was going through the entire building, asking questions.
What did he look like?
Muscular, handsome, strong, like one of those military types.
Was he alone?
Yes, but he was speaking to someone on his earpiece.
His earpiece?
Yes, you know those tiny speaker microphones that fancy security guards sometimes wear.
Oh, what was he saying?
Just reporting back whatever I was telling him.
This is being investigated by a third party. Besides muscular, did he have any other identifying traits?
Oh, let me think. He had an accent. He sounded like one of those mercenaries. He sounded vaguely Oranese. No, not vaguely, scratch that. He sounded definitely Oranese.
So what did you tell him?
Nothing. That I didn't see anything.
And he believed you?
Why shouldn't he?
Did you tell him about your Sunday friend?
What friend?
Your Sunday friend, the witness.
No, I don't think it came up.
Thank you for the information.
Sure. Anything else on your mind?
I met your Sunday friend.
You did? And how did you like him?
I didn't like him as much as I like you.
Aw, shoot. Why not?
Why was he staying at your place in the middle of the night?
He has keys. And he likes the view. To the sea, I mean.
These two are master deflectors. They can work out a way to say nothing in response to any question. Who is he?
A visitor from the first world. He's not like you and me, gendarme. He can always return.
Return where?
To his opportunities in Occident, sur la clé. Still, his coming and going brings some life to the village. Or is it just money? I don't know.
What are you two?
Friends, I told you. Sunday friends. Friends who like to get together from time to time.
What does it mean, a Sunday friend?
That he won't be there when times get tough, I guess.
Is that even a friend?
It is. On Sundays.
I don't want to talk about other people. I want to talk about you.
Hmm? What about me, gendarme?
Wow. That must have... I rolled a... my composure skill's better than I thought, I guess. That wasn't quite a boxcar, as I passed that without the critical pass. You know what? I don't see any reason to bring this up.
Hmm? Bye-bye, gendarme.
I mean, here again, if you inferred anything, you were probably right.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers. We've talked to Evar Claire. We know who these men are. The Union's militant wing.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
This is interesting. I like that. Good start. Let's take it a step further. Armed uprising. What are the Union's plans?
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary. What's your role in all this?
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems?
Hey, psst. Who, me? Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again. No, we're not doing communism. Get out of here. Not that communism is the worst. It's just, it's kind of not great either. Really, none of them work, let's be honest. Behind the dock worker is a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. The men are talking, but you swear you hear those black limbs tap on the window as the wind blows outside. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold out. Not time yet. Something out there.
Yeah, your mother.
Besides that, it's not a very good your mother joke, but the room still laughs. Something about those mother jokes just works. Nothing, just black tangles in the hair of an old woman, motionless. The wind in the yard doesn't reach the hawthorn, nor does the light coming in from the window. Later. Hi, Titus Hardy.
this is where you say you're a bit.
Oh god, he's even worse than I thought.
Detective.
Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you. Maybe against his better judgment, but he does. I forgot to change out of my anti-authority gear.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
We need to talk about the hangman out back.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that won't.
Oh god, everything he says, I felt more comfortable talking with fucking Everard.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there. You really
obviously.
like cleaning up other people's shit.
Because apparently the union, whose job is to take care of stuff, according to themselves, elected not to take care of that.
You might want to
because
start
you did
asking
it.
your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match. Starting from the right, boot size 44. I don't know how I know all this, except that I am a super cop. Blonde man in his 30s, overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right, standard working boot size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room, probably mid-50s. Smoker, quiet. Across at the other table, hobnailed working boot size 43, gang tattoos, massacre Sarah Merizian. It's late 30s, early 40s. And then, standard working boot, steel reinforced toe size 46, the big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips, rugby cap, fingerless gloves, and numerous scars, a little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club, a little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toe size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint, is that a plectrum? Where? On his neck, forget it, not important. Let's call this one the musician. And the little guy. Shanky, size 41 with a light step. Not a child after all, an older man with a rat face, mean watery eyes and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing, big guys, boot size 46, deep marks, probably carried the victim over. He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man in the armor and he could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there is a discrepancy. One of them is missing, the odsel. Exactly. You stood there for about 4 seconds not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
Man hanged in the backyard. Did you do it?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why are your boot prints all over the scene?
You mean these boots?
Yes.
We all got a pair. We wore them the night we took the pretty boy out back and hung him by the neck. Yeah. We did this. Together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why our prints are all over the scene.
So you just confessed to murder.
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
When did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to answer any of his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known the victim?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines? The same company you're striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what? Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Why'd you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary, that's it?
I am. He stepped out alive.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one had a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it. But I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hired merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Hold on, how do you even know he was in the Special Forces?
Because one night, he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm Oranese goddamn Special Forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some Oranese paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
This is a serious violation of the karaoke code. Okay, besides crimes against karaoke, what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
There's slight unease in him suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. That was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming, show me your cunt! Why don't
Jesus.
you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted, raped, you said?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
He repeats like a parrot. Right, but then who did he rape then? This is a very serious allegation.
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
So who called the shots that night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy Boy without arresting all Hardy Boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
No, but seriously, Titus, who calls the shots around here?
Who do you fucking think does?
Edward Clare runs the union, you answer to him, right?
You keep him the fuck out of this. We have autonomy. It's all on us. Evrard runs the union. I run the Hardy Boys.
When Titus Hardy says he runs the Hardy Boys, he means that in an administrative capacity. On that night, everyone acted as one man.
How did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
Can you give us a few more details? Did you muffle him? We haven't heard any reports of screams.
Titus, you don't have to clarify anything.
We overpowered him, dragged his unconscious body to the tree, put a noose around his neck, and hanged him till he was dead and steady.
One moment. Alright.
Then we left him for seagulls, maggots, and you fucks.
Wasn't he a trained killer from Orangey's Special Forces? If yes, how did you manage to overpower him?
With numbers, asshole. How do you think? You're right, Lizzie. I've done enough explaining here.
No, he hasn't. Not yet. Where did this overpowering happen?
Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker came to our bar. It happened right here.
Titus is solid as a rock, and so were a few others, but... Tell me who's solid. Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned by the police. This little rat-faced fellow is solid too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice or whatever he's got there. Who's cracking under the pressure? This one. He's sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They've smartly kept him out of the conversation thus far. Definitely the weakest link in the chain. There's something you're not telling me.
Fuck off, copper.
This one is a stonewall. You won't get more out of him than the night about the night of the murder. Not yet. Hey, you having trouble breathing over there?
No.
He looks up startled, his forehead shiny from sweat. A few coiled locks are peeking up from under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later he's gonna break like a piece of twig. Right, I have other questions about the lynching.
Like what, Copper?
So, what are we gonna do now?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to third-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility, we're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us, real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Rent-a-cop, so that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals. Godly authority check. I mean, theoretically, I should be good at authority if I take off my massive penalties to it from, like, my froggy visor and my Ninja Turtle underpants. I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where's the 8th Hardy Boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think we could
Oh,
maybe...
Glenn, you dumb fucker. This person Glenn wants to hire. He really respects her.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
No point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later. Me and Everett talked, by the way. He promised you'd cooperate.
Oh, so you went and talked to my mommy, and now she's making me play with you. Is that it, Lawman?
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You're gonna go and tell on us?
As much as I want to tell this guy to fuck his own face. Very mature, guys. Everett sent word, right?
Yeah, I heard him. Now fuck do you think I'm doing here? You'd have your ass handed to you if it wasn't for the boss man's word. Let me state this very clearly, Capo. Hello, officer. I'm Titus Hardy, and these are my boys, Hardy boys. How may we assist you?
I'm going to take off now. Also, that animation right there is new. I'm used to Titus just being parked there, arms folded at all times. Instead of that bit where he walks back to the table. Right. Half-light. I guess. Prove your authority to Titus Hardy. Yeah, I have a -2 to authority right now. Actually, only due to my ledger of failure and hatred. I was thinking of, yeah, these flip-up glasses that I was wearing. Yeah, I remember pretty specifically exactly when Angus comes up as a weak point. And I remember that because if you get that wrong, you die. So... I need to hop up and visit the restroom again, I believe. Another new... that feels like a new weather pattern. I don't remember the wind looking that windswept. The rain looking that windswept. I'm probably making that up. I'm very stupid. I am Zeor. I need to hop up and visit the restroom. I'll be right back. I quick save a lot. Hi, I'm Zeor. Hello, I'm home. But that's not all, Harry. Here's $5. You know, off the top of my head, I don't think I remember why US dollars are called bucks, actually. There was some story behind it. Alright, you.
For something?
There we go. Men like this only respect two things, strength and fear. Show me her lorry right fucking now. The lady driver's lorry. Where is it?
Fuck you. I told you. I'm not gonna... There,
his voice grows smaller as yours. I've been to your fucking lorry. I know where it is. I'm gonna burn it down. You hear me?
Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green, banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is.
When did she go away?
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days.
I guess they forgot to censor the other homophobic slur. Where exactly is her lorry?
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now, leave me the fuck alone, okay?
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
Looks like you got his adrenaline up, too. Right, I'm going. Good stream, we got to yell at racist. All good Zeor TV streams involve yelling at racism. And we didn't have to talk to Tommy about it anymore. Because Tommy is cool. We cannot respect his wishes to not investigate. I would call it like a lesser slur, if that's a thing. I don't know. It's always struck me as a slur. But I guess it depends on who you ask. It still can get thrown around a little bit more casually, I think. This green fallen AZ contemporane is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This must be the one he told us about. Unless he was lying.
The glass on the side of the windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and 2 steering levers. Posters cover the small windows in the back. You can't make out what's on them. Feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too. Door's locked. Handle looks shiny like it's been recently replaced. How are we gonna get this open, Kim?
Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside.
Really?
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
Kim told me to. If anybody asks, you were here. Kim said break the window. Use pry bar to exact violence upon item. Uh-oh. Pry bar in hand, you take a hard swing at the window. A loud thunk rings out, and the pry bar bounces back, leaving a tiny spider web on the glass. Really? Another futile thunk sounds in the brisk coastal air.
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
The lieutenant takes the pry bar from you and gestures for you to step back. Then, with short warning, Kim gets ruggy, kicks its ass. Droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering all over the lower floor and pavement. You can just reach in now. Nice.
Mm-hmm. It went better than I expected. Open it from the inside.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be. These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an attached right above the back seat. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy with a hint of ambrette wafting through the bitter air of the cabin. What is that smell? The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume, probably Granat No. 5. The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bare. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps, and gentle tragedy. That's enough of the posters. The actresses and the rare actor all smile you a warm goodbye. Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Why would anyone need so many radio stations?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation. With quite a range too.
Is there anything we can do with the radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without the dial key.
What else is here? You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip. Looks like the driver has glued a piece of sandpaper to the throttle to offer some extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
The sandpaper would also rub off the pattern from the driver's right boot sole.
Yes?
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it yourself. One of the footprints at the crime scene had an aberration, one sole smoother than the other.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
Wait, the missing 8th Hardy here?
Looks like her, yes.
And she's the one running the drug trade. What a handful.
Now we know for certain who's the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
This would fit what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make any assumptions.
Understood. We should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. The radio transmitter sits on the center console and the faint smell of perfume is in the air. Peel off the cover on the passenger seat. I don't remember this. Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachol. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Bonne prise.
The lieutenant commends you as you shift through the treasure, well worn and folded into neat squares. This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South. Good prize is what Bon Priest means. Thanks. Basically just saying good looking out. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. Looks like there are a scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock, and this person knows them all. There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881, high above the massive brown and red roofs that is Jamrock. Commuters don't even look down. The world ceases to exist outside the windshield. Where does the road lead? To Couron, through the middle-income neighborhoods there by the river, and then to Stella Marie and La Delta for work. While the men and women of Jamrock scuttled to their fates below the road. This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital right adjacent to the 41st Precinct. No storm will ever drown Revachol, the great solution to the riddle of history. Why would you need a map of storm sewers? The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over, and you know what, I just figured out why you might need a map of storm sewers. The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and central traffic island, and a traffic island in central Jamrock by the lake.
It means that the smugglers are secretly using the motorway to transport their goods and materials. They've infiltrated East Motor Tract, most likely.
This is all pretty damning evidence.
The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them.
Where does the contraband end? Who do you think is behind this?
It's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. This operation has spread everywhere in Jamrock. If it's that widespread, then Madre remains the most likely suspect. Here's bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation before, but they haven't ended well for those involved.
Lieutenant Kitsragi is a brave man for saying Madre's name without the winces and whispers that usually accompany it. Especially bad news for cops who may have something in their past they don't even know is there. Let's just put these back.
Best not to disturb the scene. I'll have forensics go over the lorry and pick these up later.
Kitsragi obliterates the window with a crowbar and says, "Let's not disturb the scene." That's good police work. A metallic jar slides out from the seat. It's empty except for a folded newspaper. It's an issue of Peripherique from last Wednesday. Piece of paper falls out from its pages. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but... The Ulan frequency...
Okay. So...
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Whew, that lady driver connects an awful lot of things. And she was...
Alright, we're finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Seems like something a police would do. What do you think of all this, Kim?
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net. I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
I think, apropos of nothing, I think it's a little interesting that I read ULAN, and Kim and I agreed that it's pronounced Ulan. I don't know where that came from, it just seems right. Listening in on your calls between you and your station, a worrying prospect. Half-Life got a lot more vocal all of a sudden, didn't it?
Oh, and the maps we found. They revealed the geographical extent of the operation. Looks like they've used abandoned tunnels and access roads to stay hidden. This is useful info.
And a storm drain?
And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy Boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching. This may be the Union connection we've been searching for.
The probe and the case converged, he thinks. This was quite the find. So it turns out this is connected to the Union.
Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use against them, to other ends, as extra ammunition.
What about the movie posters? How do they factor into this?
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
Maybe the trader is some sort of cinephile.
Yes, well...
I knew that wasn't anywhere near important, but I had to test Kim's reaction. Will the RCM open an investigation into this?
We should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
What are you thinking?
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Corruption?
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
Okay, debrief over?
Debrief over. After you.
Wonder if Tommy's gonna have anything to say. I'm sure, yeah. He must have seen us breaking into this lorry. I'm still holding the crowbar. Nope, no crowbar cop here, only nice cop. Hi, it's me, sorry cop. Crowbar cop, died.
I, saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
No trouble, she's gonna be fine.
Oh man, that's like a load off my mind. All that stress was messing up my rhymes.
What's the plan with those rhymes anyway?
Oh, you know. Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
Why Tommy Leham? Which I thought was Hami. Yeah.
Tommy Lam was taken. My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
It's more him. I agree. Alright, good luck with that, Tommy. I gotta run.
Yeah, you too. Be safe, detective.
At least I hope no harm will come to her. How's this a stab in the dark? Tommy the man, incidentally. Well, yeah, that makes sense, yep. Spanish has the word hombre, which loosely speaking means like, you know, dude. I guess it would be like just a word for man, wouldn't it? I'm not totally sure. I have not flexed my Spanish muscles in a long time.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Did you find anything out about those boots?
Still no word, I'm afraid, sir. I know it must be frustrating. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Nope, that's all.
57th, over and out.
Having a hell of a time tracing that line. The musty smell of a potato cellar in spring emanates from the air vent. Yeah, I think that's just foreshadowing just a place where I will be later. And then passing some interesting perception checks to pick up on it. Sorry Cop and Kim Cop on the scene.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Yes, my eyes on the harbor have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Where exactly are these eyes located?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
She's trying to conceal her excitement, but the slight glimmer in her green eyes tells you otherwise. I like this empathy build that I have going on here.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries. I'm mostly a psyche build right now. What's this about a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, man, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
I already heard about a connection between the lynching and strike, but I need your testimony.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
All of that sounds exactly like our victim.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
What then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now.
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
Remember the guy on the balcony mentioned that somebody had already come around, a big burly type, was asking him questions about this?
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
Oof. It'll be all of them. The decision is already made. I have to say, this is not disco.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
Again, this is a universe where clearly semi and fully automatic firearms are a pretty novel invention at this time.
As I said, a bloodbath.
This is no time for apocalypse, cop. Put that away. This is a pretty... Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true, Lieutenant W. Frater Dubois. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
What can you tell me about Crenell?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep black well. There's another one of those dramatic lighting shifts. I don't know what's going on with that. Again, apropos of nothing, it seemed... Have you noticed, like, Harry seems to be having an easier and easier time settling into the detective work? We've just kind of been behaving more like a regular detective than like a drunk asshole detective as time goes on. Am I imagining that?
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
I wasn't aware there was a fourth world, actually.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Okay, anything else you got on them?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Could you contact the company? Tell them to call him off?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
So, she said they deployed 3. One of them is our dead guy. So there are 2 others around somewhere, conducting their own, like, up against the wall tribunal into this murder. You said the deceased assaulted a woman?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
What do these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk. Maybe on narcotics, too.
I mean, Hardy's boys did accidentally leak that a little bit. They didn't go into detail about it.
Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the Colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You'll meet her soon enough, you feel. This Colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
You don't know how you know. It's not written on her face nor in her voice, but she had sympathy for this man. His name was...
Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others first.
One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased's?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
There was a pang of regret to her voice.
That's all right, then. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
Indeed. This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Where are the remaining two mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
We still need to know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates, the one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers. One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates, the scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
One is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
I had another question for you.
I hope I can answer it better.
How much time do we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
There's a brief silence. Seagulls walk over the bay. 5 days, not more, maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
That's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
So now can you tell me about these tattoos? some reason not voice acted, of course. Excuse my hesitation before. She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand for about half a minute in silence. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured like those of a working woman.
It was taken with a trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely. What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Like stars in the sky?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
What travels did the dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semnes Islands, then this.
She's much better at reading this than she thought she was. What is that?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Inter-Islary Age.
The old world passing by and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Somewhere in an office lit by a single green desk lamp, Captain Ptolemaeus Price, 58, bald and bespectacled, is writing in a ledger on his desk. Rows and rows of days and weeks, laconic remarks in a single column. Patrol, case, vacation, injured. In Martinez looking into Crenell, he writes in one, and the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside there is a siren, distant gunshots on the streets of Jamrock Quarter. This man is no brother of mine, but this is his service history.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas. Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
It could go this or the other way. Maybe if you're tactful, it could be beneficial. You're right, not a good idea.
I am relieved you think so. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security.
Yeah, no. That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
That's all. Boy, we got a lot done today. So, hold on. There's a conceptualization check that I really... Alright, I'm gonna put a point into conceptualization. I thought for a second that something else had reopened that check, but I think I'll have to put a point into it. I should have pretty good odds on it at this point, I believe. And that will be like a later, probably when Cam is not around, check. But I'm gonna go ahead and get ahead of that now. I do also want to free up another thought, so I can internalize Apocalypse Cop. I haven't done that before. Sounds fun. But that'll do for now. Wouldn't say we've blown the case wide open or anything, but we've made a lot of progress. We have a team of 8, all trying to claim collective, like, confessing to the crime as a group. And yet they have some inconsistencies on the story. We know who the dead man is. He was a mercenary, one of a team. The rest of the team are out for blood. We found the lady driver. She was at the scene. She's doing drug stuff. It's getting complicated around here in Rivershaw. That's all I got for you for today. I enjoy this game a lot. Have I mentioned that? I was thinking that a little bit ago during this long conversation. Like, that was the longest I think I've ever gone in a stream. Double saving, whatnot. Without saying any words. And yet I still felt like the stream was proceeding at pace, you know? Like, I was thinking that even about just the pace of this game in general. It's very different from pretty much anything else I've ever streamed. And yet I'm content to just kind of let myself get drawn into it. I'm just really enjoying myself. So there you go. There's Disco Part 4? Question mark 5? Whatever. That's plenty of Disco for now. Probably Donkey Kong Country 2 tomorrow for Flashback Friday. I'm looking forward to that. One of my favorite ever Super NES games. All just beautiful, peak, rare visuals and soundtrack. All the good shit. Play some of that tomorrow. Hope to see you there. Alright? Thanks for watching my streams. Over and out. Fart jokes.